Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is November 14th, 2022, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of today from last Friday, we had a indecisive move from the Dow Jones where it formed a doji candlestick. Now we're going to get into that as well, but no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the markets, the Forex symbols, looking at the major pairs, they're looking like they're tapering off or settling versus the US dollar. As we look at the indices, the Dow Jones indecisive whether or not it wants to go higher or not. And looking at the NASDAQ, it bounced but showing weakness. Now looking at commodities, gold tapering off from its upper limit, and looking at gold gaining to $89 a barrel. Now looking at the stocks, they're pretty much mixed. And lastly, Bitcoin makes a double bottom. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here, let's start with a daily of the Euro USD. You could see right there, that's a doji, that little thing towards the end. I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to magnify it so you can see it a little bit better. Right there, okay? If you could do more than that, I would, but I can't. So I'm going to just show you what I got. Right here, that's a doji. Now a doji in this type of formation after a massive incline means to say that we're not sure if we're going to go higher or we're going to make a correctional move. Now the correctional move could come in one or two phases, okay? And number two, I would really wait to see if it does taper off. Now we've gone through October 13th-ish up until now, across the board, the U.S. markets have led us to these areas where the dollar's gotten weaker, the euro's gotten stronger, and we broke that formation, that downwards formation, that downwards trend has been broken. Now, it's not to say that we won't test our lows again, but this fact that right here we've broken it seems to imply that we're reaching a new area. Now, as far as a retracement is concerned, okay, we might do one of the two following things. Either we'll retrace 25%, which would be about here, or we'd retrace about 50%, which would be about here. Okay, that's usually where retracements go to. So keep that in mind as this is happening, okay, throughout the week. Now the GBP, same story. A doji towards the end seems to imply that the market's not sure if we're going to go higher or lower. Looking at the Australian dollar on a daily chart. There you go. That's another doji, right? So the markets are all dojiing, okay, if I could say that. Looking at the U.S. markets, let's jump to it so you could see it. Looking at a daily, that red candle over there is a doji. Okay, so looking at today's market conditions, we're pretty much unchanged at 33,735. Now first, looking at commodities, looking at gold, we're at that top of that range, but we're tapering off here at 1765 as we're making the correctional move. Looking at crude oil at 89, getting closer to that $90 a barrel level. Now looking at the U.S. markets, the Dow Jones, as mentioned, it's got to be at the top of that range as we're making this move higher. Now, it's the banks that were strong because they're the ones that will really benefit from any kind of Fed easing moving forward, and everybody's eye is on it. So looking at the NASDAQ, it did bounce, but if you look, it didn't bounce as much. It didn't bounce as much as the rest of the market did. But you could see that this downwards momentum has been broken. So the next couple of days are going to be very, very important as to which direction the market's going to go. And I think it's going to fake us. You know, everybody got caught on this double bottom here thinking we were going to break lower. We didn't. And then we broke out higher. Okay, a major mistake if you did do that. Now, including yours truly here. Now, looking at the stocks. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Alcoa is down on the day. Okay, Alcoa actually sold off last Friday, even though it does look like we gained on that day, but at the end of the day, gave up its gains, and that is as doji as it comes. Now, looking at JP Morgan, also, you could see that doji, okay, but it's a little bit stronger. JP Morgan was a little bit stronger because it had that, the candle, the wick is actually bigger on the higher side. So keep that in mind as this is still happening today. Now, looking at this, the tech stocks, Apple didn't make that move up, okay, Facebook made that second move up, but still not strong. If you look at Cisco, actually was down on the day. Okay, so this is a little bit disconcerting, and so this is why it's a mixed bag and very hard to tell whether or not we're going to continue going higher or we're going to make a correctional move on the downside. Now, if you look at Microsoft, it just looks like we're trading in that range and we're at that top of the range. Tesla did bounce, okay, and this one was the biggest one that got hit, and especially if you noticed, Elon Musk is selling $4 billion of his stock here. For whatever reason, maybe he's looking to buy, to put in that rest of that down payment for Twitter. But that's what's been happening here. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, made a double bottom. If you look at a 4-hour chart, we hit that 15,800-ish level. Now, there's a lot of stuff in the street. Oh, I told you so. The cryptocurrencies are over. It's done. It was just a Ponzi scheme, all that stuff. But the tape doesn't lie. Okay, whatever the commentary are, you got to keep an eye on the tape. And when there's a breakout, when we break out, okay, on a weekly chart, a 200-day moving average gets broken, or when you have a crossover like this, we have the 8-day moving average crosses over the 30-day moving average, that's very important. That's what we want to know. So in these type of scenarios, the tape doesn't lie. The charts don't lie to us. And that's more what I'm focusing on than all the noise and all the commentary from all these people that said, I told you so, or this and that. Now, at this stage, our next support level is 12,500. So keep that as a point for a possible retracement. And if we do bounce, then our next bounce is really to 17,500. Okay, so those are the levels and know them. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day.